Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingWithMe.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram, and this rose journal, and it's a rose covered journal. It doesn't mean that everything in it is roses, but I've been adding to this one throughout the past few months, really, with some of the Scrapbusters challenges, the videos that I've been doing. So I've been adding some things in to this journal from that, and I wanted to finish it up and get it up for sale in the shop. So I thought that I would finish it along with you all. Y'all love to see, or you act like you love to see what I am currently making and doing and stuff. So I decided to bring you along with this one. Everything, and this is for real. I mean, the reels that you see on Instagram where they're using that song that says everything is content, it is true. Because I have done things in the past and people go, wait a minute, I didn't see you make that. When did you make that? And they go, oh, I never showed that, because it was just something that I did while I was sitting at my craft desk. So I have learned that everything is content, and I am sharing it all with you. If you watched my Scrapbusters challenge last week, you know that we made these cute little messy, grungy page edge collage, and did some sewing down the middle and things, and this rose colored, or wine really colored paper on the edge went really well with this journal. And I showed y'all this journal in that video, and I had a few people ask, oh, I love the rose journal that you're working in. Is that available? Are you selling that? I am going to be selling this. I just need to finish it up. I have got to put, because this is just cardstock, a cardstock cover. So this is a soft cover journal. And I need to add some kind of reinforcement here. So like some fabric or something. I have got to add my inside pockets. I've got to finish decorating the pages. But as you can tell, this is pretty, it's already getting a little chunky monkey. So it looks nice already. I love it already. And I'm thinking I want to add a different kind of reinforced spine here. I do want to add fabric, but I want to add my closure into that spine also. And so the closure will be some kind of trim, and it'll come around and tie here. That's my favorite kind of closure, and so that's what I'm going to add to that one. And I've just got to figure out how I'm going to get the closure started here and then tying on this side, because I don't want to put any holes here. I want plenty of room on the inside for pockets, and I'm not going to do that much inking on this one. Whoever receives it, if they want to ink, do some kind of distress inking around the edges and then add whatever they want to into this journal, they can. Not saying that there is not some distress inking in here, because there already is, but I'm not going to probably do much more. I will let the recipient do that. The center of the spine, I left the tails really long on the wax thread, and I put pearls on the end. So there is a pretty much, you could, kind of go to the next thing and do like a little page marker if you wanted to. If you were on a certain page and not in the center of the journal, you could make it a little page marker, but they're just really too stinking cute hanging out of the bottom of that journal. So now, it's real life here in the Pilot House, and you've heard me say that many, many times. And so there is laundry going. I think right now I have my 4th load in the washing machine. And, and then, of course, the clothes dryer is going also. And the dishwasher is going. So, real life. And I got the puppy at my feet. and I have people say, why don't you just close your door to your craft room? It doesn't help. We live in a small house, about 1,500 square feet, and that is small in Alabama. You know, their standards, that is small. Usually in the South, around our area anyway, average size house is about 2,200 square feet. And I know that everywhere is not like that, and this is first world problems, and I love my house, so I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that when you see me crafting, I am literally off my living room. Right through this wall is my living room. My TV on the wall, everything. So, you know, and then to my right is Erin's room. To my left is a bathroom and Bethany's room. So, you know, I'm on one side of the house where we have the extra bedroom, and that is where my craft room is, the extra bedroom. And plus, when I'm here and Erin's here, he's usually doing chores. He loves working in the house. He loves getting things done. He loves having a list and getting that list accomplished. He is very goal oriented. So if he's working and needs me for something, I just hate to have the door closed and be shut off from him. So there's a little chatty moment for you, real life pilot information. So I put that side or edge collage there because I did have that piece of the page that had ripped. That was some of that food color dyed paper that I made a few months back, and some of them stuck together when they were drying, so I had quite a few pieces that I had to cover up the edges on. I think on this, for this piece here, so we can cover that up, I'll add some book page this way. I like that. And maybe we can find some kind of rose something and add in there too. I like this paper too. It's got some wild stuff on the other side, but this side is pretty. It's like a mocha color. And that come out of my scrap pile. So let's see here. And here, I really like that. And then I've got some little rose something looking stuff here. So let's fussy cut out that one rose piece right there. I am using right now in my dishwasher, for anybody that wants to know this, one of those self-cleaning things, a dishwasher cleaner. It's supposed to get the lime and scale and stuff like that, or if you've got some disgusting stuff down in the bottom. Our dishwasher has one of those food disposal things at the bottom, but you know, I still try not to put a bunch of yuck dishes in our dishwasher. But it had gotten that smell, you know, after a while your dishwasher just gets like that if you don't get down on your hands and knees and just scrub and scrub and scrub. Well, I don't have time to get on my hands and knees right now. So I thought I'm going to buy one of those self-cleaner, dishwasher cleaner bobs and see if this thing actually works. So that's what I've got going on in my dishwasher right now. So I'm hoping, crossing fingers, that thing actually does what it's supposed to do, because I really, really, really don't want to get on my hands and knees. And I would ask Aaron to do it, but he does so much already around the house. I would hate to have to do that. And he's a big old boy. I would feel bad if I had him down on his hands and knees with his head in the dishwasher trying to get that cleaned out. That is cute. I really like that. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of clip this together, and I'm going to do a little bit of sewing just right down the middle of that. I'm not going to ink it or anything. I like how it's looking just as is. That is way too big of a paper clip I've got on there, but it keeps it together until I can get it under the sewing foot. Okay, so I've got my sewing, my stitching right down the middle there, and it's not straight, and I'm fine with that. I am not a seamstress. I never proclaimed to be, and I like messy grungy, as you can tell. See there? And I really like how that looks. I won't go all the way to the edge with my glue, so if somebody, whoever gets it, wants to make it just a little tiny tuck, they can. So let's just do glue all around this back piece, and then barely out just a little so we can get that book page done. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be down all the way, and that way they got room there. I like that little scrappy cluster we made there. I do want to do a little peekaboo circle window in this journal. I've never done it before, and I was flipping through this a few minutes ago, and I saw a page that it would work really well on. I just have to add another page in. Okay, so I have tea stained notebook paper here. This is a belly band with pockets in it, so pockets, 3 pockets like that, and then it is a belly band too. And then we've got a dolly here, so that's enough decorating. And then, you know, you've got these nice little cells on this stained notebook paper, so that's good. I do want to add in another page here, and I'm just going to glue it in. But before we do that, I'm going to cut a circle in the middle of that page, and I'm going to do some stenciling on this page, and maybe some watercolor on this page, and we're going to make little kind of like well, just cut out some, either out of pattern paper or die cuts or whatever, focal point. So a focal point on this side and a focal point on this side, but this page that I'm going to glue in here in the middle is going to have a hole in the middle of it. So when you flip the page back and forth, you get the focal point through that hole there, and the focal point through that hole there. Alright, for my stencil, I have this clock stencil I thought was very pretty. I'm going to put some scrap paper back behind this, and I'm going to get this stenciling going. And what I'm going to do is use some gesso, white gesso. Sorry, I'm saying I'm going to get that there, so maybe I don't go off too much, and I can keep it steady here. And I'm going to do it there, and then I'll do another piece off to the side here. And I've got my little spatula that I'm going to put the white gesso on. This is that, still that same gesso. Whoop, I'm up on this side, so I'm going to tape it down there too. This same gesso that I've almost used all of it up. And then I can get me a new white gesso from the shop. Y'all have been buying that and a modeling paste up pretty quickly lately. So we want to see y'all's projects. What are y'all using that white gesso on? Are you doing something that we've showed you, or got a new something going on? Show us what you're making with that gesso, y'all. That is not usually one of the biggest sellers in our shop, but I do love to use it quite a bit. And so I love getting inspiration from others too, so whatever you're doing, I would love to see it. Okay, I'm just getting the spatula really easily at first. I'm just dabbing on all of this where I want it to go. And I did not even bother with cleaning off my stencil from the last time I used it. It has some, looks like vintage photo ink on it where I used it last. So maybe that will be enough there. I'm going to come over here and try not to get that part because I don't want to use that part. Okay, and go all the way to the bottom edge of my page, and then all the way over to the edge that way too. And I'm just smoothing in that gesso and pressing it down pretty hard because we want it to go into all those little cracks. I've got fruit flies, y'all, trying to get them gone. I want them to go down in these little cracks here and really show off those clock images. Really, really good. So, wiping that off. This kind of looks like onion soup mix. So you got that white gesso, and then that vintage photo ink that was on the stencil already. Alright, then I'm going to scrape away. That's what I'm doing now. I'm just scraping away the excess and just trying to be gentle enough that I'm not messing up the stencil at all, but hard enough pressure that you're getting all the excess off of that page too. Okay, so then my white gesso that I've put on here is actually going to come away with a brown tinge to it, and that works wonderfully for junk journals, don't it? Alright, I think we're good. And let's go ahead and wipe or pull that off, and then we will wipe off any excess we have. So let's pull up this washi tape. And then big reveal here. I like that. Some of it's going to get covered up anyway, so any part of it that doesn't look exactly like you want it to, make that the part that you cover up with your piece of whatever you use. I'm also going to spritz on a little bit. I made my own walnut stain. So with the walnut stain ink refill and some water, that's all I did. And I'm going to spritz on just a little bit of this while that is still wet, just to get me some extra color in there. And then I can take that scrap paper out. Okay, and I'll get my heat tool, and we're going to dry this up just a little bit before we start making our peekaboo page. Alright, I want a little bit more pink going on right around here, because this, I think, is the focal point I'm going to be putting on this. So I want a little bit of pink showing out. This is saltwater taffy, and I'm just going to splatter on, and I'm fine with it getting over on that page too. That is some pretty oxide ink there. I love that. A little bit more down here. Okay, then let's dry that. Okay, and while that is still finishing drying, I'm going to come over to this side, and let's do a little bit of watercolor on this side of the page. Alright, so that might not be anybody else's cup of tea. I love this because my focal point on this side is going to be this, and I'm going to ink this in black all the way around. So that's going to be like it's coming off of that stem that I made. So it's going to go like that. I love that. And it's my own piece of little bit of abstract kind of artwork there that is going to come to whomever buys this journal, and I hope that they love it. And I'm going to probably hang this off the edge of this page over here just a little bit. I'm going to splatter just a little bit of black on this side to kind of get it a little darker to go along with that. Now I'm going to use some of this, looks like mulberry paper. I was gifted this paper and it is gorgeous. And it reminds me of the old mulberry paper that I used to get whenever I was first starting out with scrapbooking. Very pretty. So I want to make this a little bit smaller, so maybe about this big, so smaller than both of the pages. So I'm going to just barely tear right there so I'll know where to cut. And then I want this to have a little bit of a lip down in there, and I'm going to use my little stamp shears to cut along this edge that's going to poke out on this side. But it's going to flip-flop back and forth, and I want it to come out to about here. I'm going to make a little tear there so I'll know where to trim this. So let's get out our trimmer. Oh yay, my trimmer was very nice to this mulberry paper. Very good, very good. Oh yay, good. I have not had good luck. I don't believe in luck, but I have not had that when it comes to trimmers and mulberry paper in the past. So that was wonderful. Now I'm going to see if these little shears are actually going to cut through the mulberry paper. And I mean, it's not perfection, but it's doing it. It's doing its job. So we're just going to keep rolling with it. I'm not looking for it to be a perfect edge. So that's working out fine as is. Okay, maybe get that just a little bit better right through there. And there. Let's pull that out. Oh, that one didn't even get cut at all. There we go. Alright, so we got a little bit of stamp looking on that edge of the mulberry paper. Now I want to make a nice fold like this. Okay, and I will round these corners maybe if this punch likes mulberry paper, and it doesn't really, so I might just have to trim it myself, and that's fine too. Yep, that works. Let's get it started with this. Maybe. Okay. And then come around. Okay. Y'all know mulberry paper is kind of finicky sometimes, but it is gorgeous. I love using it. And then I'm going to put this into my journal like this. Okay. Cut it too wide. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want it folded up. So let's just make a wider fold. How about that instead of cutting it? Okay, if we did the fold there instead. Oh, that's going to be good. It does come out a little bit, but once we get it glued in there, yeah, it's just barely poking out, and it's not longer than anything else. So I'm good with that. And let's go ahead and get that glued in there. So I'm going to put glue all over my fold line. And it's okay if it drips onto the other side a little bit, all the way down, and then find where I want it to go, fold it up, and press down. Alright, then what I'm going to do is about where I want to put my little focal points. I'm going to make a hole in the middle here in my mulberry paper, and then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger there. Okay, so that's where I want that circle to go. You can also cut this circle out before you actually put the piece in your journal. Oh, that's going to work. That is going to work good. So what I want to do is get a pencil, and this is the smaller focal point that's going to be on this side. Okay, so I want my circle that I put here to not go too far out so that you see the tops of this card. So I want to do just a little pencil mark here, like so. Yep, I like that. Maybe not go over too far as to go to the fold. And then that is going to work for that too. Not all of it will be shown, and that's fine. So I'm going to cut an X all the way to where I want it. Maybe just go a tad more there. And then I'm going to pull back and just do me a torn circle. Okay, I love that circle. I love how it looks, and I am going to stop tearing now. I'm going to get my black sewing thread, and I'm just going to get glue and go around this circle quite a few times and add on, just stick on this sewing thread all the way around the hole on this side, and I'm going to do it again on that side. And then I might do a little bit of grungy inking around there. I need to get my black black soot ink, and I'm going to ink these two die cut pieces. Alright, I'm going to figure out where I want my die cuts on both sides by just doing the page back and forth, just making sure that I get placement correct. So let's put our glue on. I have a feeling I know exactly where it needs to go, but I'm just going to keep going back and forth just to make sure of placement. Go up just a little. I like that. So let's glue that down. I'm going to get my walnut stain and go ahead and go around this just as grungy as I want. You remember when I said I'm not going to ink? I'm not going to ink anymore in this journal. Whoever gets it can ink as much as they want. Oh well, here I go. Okay, and then I'm going to get the inner circle really well with this walnut stain, but being careful not to tear the mulberry paper. And then I'll go on this other side and do the same thing, just a little bit of kind of grunging it up around the edges. Okay, I'm going to ink up just the cut edge of this on both sides. And I mean, whoever gets this journal could definitely put another page onto here, do a little fold out on this, glue it on either side and do a fold out on that. That would be very cute. Now this is the trickier side, since it's not a circle, so we need to get placement pretty good on this side before we glue anything down. I don't want the top or the bottom of this card or the side over here to show through that window. I like that right there. So that needs to be almost exactly where that piece is, the folded over piece. So I'm just going to do a little bit of glue there. I'm going to pretty much place it, but the liquid glue gives me enough time to come back and move it. See, I need to move it down some. Oh, that's pretty good right there. Yep. Okay, and I need to look at it to see if I need to. No, it looks pretty good to me. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Yep, and when it lays down all the way, it's fine. I'm going to pull it in just a touch, so when you lay it down. Oh, I love that little peekaboo window that we created there. I'm going to just glue down the rest of this all the way to the edge of that page, so we don't have any lifting or anything going on with this page, so it doesn't tear or anything like that. Okay, so we have the ink showing through on this side, and I'm fine with that. Beautiful inking and stenciling there. Then we've got this nice little mulberry window here. We've still got to put our thread around the circle. And then we've got that watercolor there with that Tim Holtz. That comes from that wallpaper collection that he does. That die cut did. All right, now let's get some glue going around this circle. This would also be pretty with some like hemp twine or something, but I'm just going to use some black sewing thread, and I'm just going to start going around and around and around the circle until I get quite a few rounds of this thread going. Alright, so there is my window. I love it. I love it. This is the very first time I've ever done one of these in a journal, and I really, really love it. I love the wonkiness of the whole thread thing. I love it. I love the grungy look of it. Beautiful. So that is what I was wanting to show y'all. And I'm going to be working in this journal the rest of the week. And we'll have it up, hopefully, on the website by the end of the week for sale. But I really love that. Really love that. And I will have a flip through when I finish everything. We'll come back in the next video. I don't want to close that all the way because it's not dry. But look, you can see that. We could even put a tab on the edge if we wanted to. We'll come back in the next video and we'll get the spine done, my little closure, my special closure that I talked about at the beginning of the video. We'll get that done and maybe can get our inside pockets done on the next video. So I won't make this too many video series long. I don't really like doing those because once you watch the first series, the first video of the series, usually I don't get as many views on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, on down through there. So that's why I don't like to make too many videos in a series. But I really think that the finishing, the conclusion of making this rose journal is worth watching a few videos on. But I really love that window, and I will be sharing some still shots at the end once all of my glue is dry. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video where we are still going to be in this journal. Love ya. God bless. Bye, y'all.